Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for American Horror Stories, Season 2, Episode 2, Aura. So we start off seeing an ad for basically the Ring app, but it's called Aura. And we see Jaslyn, who is played by Gabourey Sidibe. I think that's how you pronounce it, Gabourey Sidibe, right? I think I'm right. Anyway, she at the store contemplating buying it. And it's $200. It's $199.99. And of course, the salesman is trying to get her to buy it. He's basically trying to scare her into buying it. You know, you got to know who's going to be at your door. You never know who's trying to come and slit your throat, you know? You just never know who is at the door. So yeah, you're going to need this. You need this. And of course, she throw it in the bag because she's spooked. So Jaslyn, she gets back home, and of course her husband is completely beside himself that she has spent $200 and they done just moved into this house, and they have other expenses, and of course they need to be watching every penny, and she's just spending $200 willy-nilly. But of course she says that she needs it. You know, it's just another safety precaution. They moved out of the neighborhood that they were in because she didn't feel safe there, and I guess, you know, he's going to go ahead and accommodate her because, I mean, what he going to do? She done already got it. She says that her store, well, her online store will be live soon. And so, you know, she going to make the money back. She makes jewelry. And so when she go live, she says she going to make that $200 back. But she's experienced something very traumatic in her childhood. And it just gave her anxiety. And so he just got a deal, honestly. He go and get his toolbox and he proceeds to put the daggone aura up on the dough. 20 years earlier, we see Jaslyn in her bed. She's a child, like maybe, I would say teenage, maybe middle school. I don't know, but it's a younger version of her. And she's in bed. And then there's this masked man just in her bedroom creeping up to her bed with a gun pointed at her. And then all of a sudden we hear some screams and some gunshots. And of course now we're back to real time. And her husband is, you know, busy. Excuse me. He's busy installing the... Excuse me again. He's busy installing the aura. So Jaslyn and her man, you know, we just see them living life or whatever. And she makes jewelry, like I said. And so she's just making her jewelry, doing her thing. She works from home. She gets a notification on her Aura app that somebody is at the door. And when she goes to the door, it's her man talking about he's here for the home invasion at 3. He got jokes. And it's really not even funny because that is essentially what she went through as a child. And he over here making jokes about it. But anyway, and let's put a pin right here. It was something about him that I just, I was uneasy about him from jump when he didn't want her buying. When he got so angry with her for even getting the daggone thing, something was off about him. Because it's like, it's just extra protection. Like, how you going to get this upset over somebody wanting to, you know, make the house a safe place? Like, because he was upset. I mean, he didn't get irate with her or anything, but he was annoyed that she wanted that. And just throughout the episode, I was just looking at him with the side eye, and rightly so. Rightly so. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. So she's home alone. It's at night because her man, I don't know what he do, but he be gone all times of the night. Anyway, she's home alone. And her app keeps notifying her that somebody's at the door. And she look at the app. She like, nobody there. Okay. It just keeps dinging and dinging and dinging. And she just keep looking. Nobody out there. So, of course, she go out there, opening the door. Hello? Hello? And then it's just a little raccoon running away from the trash. And so, of course, she goes back in the house. She's in there brushing her teeth and getting ready to go, you know, get into bed. And of course, here come the notifications again. They're just going off. And so I wrote down here in my notes. That's why I deleted my Ring, my Ring app. Because listen, the notifications are so annoying. They really are. If you have your notifications on. They are going to ding anytime somebody drives past the house. Anytime somebody drives past this house, it's going to pick it up. And it just be ding, 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 chiming. I'm like, I'm turning this off. And so, yeah, no, well, I don't need the app that bad. It's on my kids' tablet, and it's on, of course, my husband's phone. So, what I need it for? To be notifying me every time somebody drive down the street. Anyway, it's this man standing outside, and I thought I'm like, he looked dead. Like, what's up with him? He just standing out there, knocking on the door, like, let me in, you know, shaking the handle, please, let me in, my sweet Jaslyn, let me in. I'm like, who is this man? Because he was very demanding. Like, he was demanding to get in the house, turning the knob and everything. And, of course, she calls 911. And when her husband gets home, you know, of course, he finds the police all in the house and, you know, what's going on with Jaslyn. So the neighbor, I guess, who sees all the commotion, his name is Juan. He come over there like, so I got cameras outside my garage. I mean, y'all want to look at them? I can see right in front of your door. So we can go on over here and look at those. So they go over there and they look at the cameras and they looking and it's like, okay, run it back some more. It was like right after the raccoon. They see the raccoon. Right? No, rewind it again. And they didn't see this man that she absolutely saw standing outside her door through her phone, through the little app. They looking at her like, are you sure? Could you have been dreaming? You know, like, of course her husband tries to gaslight her because she know what she saw, but he gonna try to make it seem like that ain't what she saw. And, you know, maybe she could have been dreaming. He over here, when they get, of course, you know, back in the house and all of that, he's suggesting that she go and see a therapist again. You think you need to go see the therapist again? She like, I know what I saw. He was shaking the door. He was shaking the door handle. He was absolutely outside the door. Anyway, of course, you know, because if somebody convinces you that many times that you must have been dreaming, because on the camera we ain't see nobody, so you had to have been dreaming. She questioning herself, but she know what she saw. The next night, of course, she is just constantly checking the app, and her husband, you know, he tells her to, you know, let that go, stop babysitting the app or whatever, and she, you know, you'll be fine, don't worry, you'll be fine. And she says she watching out for the raccoon, but of course she's she looking to see. Now, I know I saw that man standing outside the door last night, but anyway, he said he put out some poison anyway for the raccoon. She like, poison? You gonna kill it? You would kill the raccoon? He like, I mean, listen, I wouldn't be the first to kill a pest. Now, I'm with him on that. Raccoon in my trash, I don't know about killing it, but I sure would get some type of repellent, something that it don't want, you know, because it knows that it's gonna make it sick, or, you know, at the smell of it. Because I think you're supposed to put ammonia on your trash for the cats, and I don't know if it'll kill it, but they don't like the smell for sure, and so they're not finna come around the trash. Could be the same thing for the raccoon, but he went on ahead and got poisoned. And she was a little upset about that. I'm like, okay, she must be an animal lover. Anyway, she looked at the app some more. And when she looks, the man is back. And this time, she shows him like, look, he's back. You see him? I know you see it this time. And of course, he starts talking to the man like, what do you want? What are you here for? And he keeps saying something about his sweet Jaslyn. You know, I'm here for Jaslyn, my sweet Jaslyn. That's what he here for. So of course, once he hears the man's voice, he gets up himself to go and get a fire poker. He finna go outside and do some straightening. When he opens, but before he can get to the door, she's like, no, don't go out there. Of course, she's scared, and she just wants to call 911. And so they do, and I think they call the neighbor. Yeah, they call the neighbor to see. He calls the neighbor to see if you can see somebody outside the door, because the man is back. And he look on the camera. He like, ain't nobody outside your house? Ain't nobody out there. And finally, he just comes to the conclusion, okay, it must be hackers. This must be somebody hacking into the system. And, you know, of course, Nah, that's not what this is. Cause the man is clearly standing there outside the door. She's like, "Ain't no hacker. He turned the knob. How is it a hacker? The man turned the knob." Like there's really no other explanation than something supernatural and something is going on. Jaslyn is Googling the, similar situations with the Aura app, and she comes across a story about a woman who, there was a man outside her door, outside she would see him on the Aura app, and come to find out he was a sex offender when they found him. And so some things are, other people are experiencing the same thing that she is. And her husband is still not buying any of it. He's still just, I don't know, which is why I was like, something is wrong with him. Something is off about this man. But anyway, she started telling him this story about in her high school days, her janitor at the school, Mr. Hendricks. Like, you know how kids are. They making fun of the crazy looking man. They probably think he don't hear nothing that they saying, all of that. But one day, she trying to be funny with her friends, tells the man that he looks nice, and he took it to heart and fell for the girl on some creepy shit. Was stalking her, sending her notes, putting her notes in her locker, giving her flowers, following her around, all that. And she thinks that the man outside the door resembles this man an awful lot. But of course, her man gonna still try to gaslight her and make her feel like what she's saying is not true. Although she knows that the two correlate. This is an eerie coincidence. He ain't trying to hear it. Jaslyn is home alone again. And she opened up her laptop and Mr. Hendricks standing right behind her. Of course, she jumped out her skin. So now she got to go figure out where he is and what's going on with him right now. So she gets in her car and she goes to his sister's house to see if he still lives there. And she looking at her like, who are you? She says that she's there from the alumni association from the school. They're doing a memorial, a reunion, something like that. And she would love to have him there. Does he still live here? And of course the lady's like, nah, he ain't been here in a couple of months. He just up and left. He basically disappeared. And she wants to know if she has any recent pictures. And so she takes her back there in his room. And his room still look like a little kid's. Like action figures laying around, baseball cards. It's a little boy's room for sure. But she said that he hasn't lived there since he got fired from the school for whatever reason. But he's missing right now, but he is absolutely the man that has been coming to her doorstep, because she does see a picture in like a little box, and she said that's the only picture she had of him. He really wasn't keen on family pictures, but that was one, and that's exactly who that is, Mr. Hendricks. So Jaslyn, fills her husband in. She calls him and fills him in on everything, and he said he'll be home in an hour. She don't even get in the house good before that notification going off again. And he back. Telling her to open the door, asking her to please open the door. And of course she's like, what do you want? And he's like, to see you again, sweet Jaslyn. I just want to see you again. And, she says, if I open the door, what's going to happen? He says, nothing. I'll just get to see you again. And so she goes and she opens the door. I'm like, yo, dumbass going to open the door? Girl, no. I open the window. How about that? I'll crack the window. I'll crack the door with the thing with the chain on. I'm not opening the door for the man that's there and maybe not there. I don't know. But anyway, she opens the door and there's like this gust of wind. And when she closes the door, child, Dale Hendricks just standing right there in her kitchen. He's standing right there in her kitchen and he's like, I thank you for opening the door. Thank you for finally opening the door. And he says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I lied to you. I'm not just here to see you. He said, I want more than that. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Because he looks so crazy. So it's just like, your word choice. Your word choice. But anyway, he said he wanted to say he was sorry. He said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for stalking you. Like, I don't know what got into me, but I had thought that I had fallen in love with you, a whole child. And so I'm sorry for stalking you, for making you feel uncomfortable, for not making you feel safe. I'm sorry for traumatizing you. And she's like, Hendrix, you know what? And I'm sorry too. I'm sorry for me and my friends being assholes. I'm sorry. On behalf of me and the homies, I'm sorry. And he turns around, he starts crying these tears of blood, and then just poof, a puff of smoke. I was like, what? Well, that's it. I had to look like, how many more minutes of this we got left? Because I know that's not the climax that we're going to get to. Absolutely not. Nope. Hold that thought. So the next day, Jaslyn is watching the news, and of course she sees that they have found Dale's body. He had been missing for 2 months. And a week ago, it's a suicide. He just walked himself into the lake. And she just sitting there stunned like, I'll be damn. Her husband gets home, and things seem to go back to normal, whatever, for them. She doesn't tell him about her encounter with Dale or what really happened. But when he goes upstairs, she starts to get some notifications again from the Aura, and this time it's a woman. It's a woman out there. She confused about where she is, who she is, and why she's there. And it's like, that man come down them stairs. What's his name? Bryce, her husband. He comes down as soon as he hears the lady over the phone. He like turns into somebody else. I'm like, he know this lady. Who is this woman? Who is this woman, Bryce? Bryce know her, but he gonna snatch the phone, and who is this and all of that, acting like he don't know what's going on. Like he's had enough. I'm sick of this, and he snatches the Aura off the door and throws it in the trash. And me and Jaslyn looking at him like, you know her, and I'm about to find out who she is right now. Jaslyn done went out. She out and about. She went to the park. She went to the park the lady said that she was at, and because the lady, she said that she was, I think she ended up mentioning like that she was at a park and then she ended up here. I don't know, but she went back to that park, and she goes and sits at this bench that is it's a memorial bench for the lady, because she was killed in a hit and run out there at the park. And so she sit down and she Googles the whole situation, what the case was, and there were they had suspicions about, I guess because she had suspicions about it being her husband because of the way he reacted. Of course, she had to look, because she was like holding her breath. She was holding her breath when they said that when she was reading and thumbing through who the suspect was. Turns out it wasn't him. It was the person was identified as somebody else, another drunk driver. But I'm like, it's something still going on with this. I don't trust your husband, girl. I just don't. When she get home, of course she demands to have this conversation with him. She tells him, I went to the park today and I stumbled upon a memorial for the lady that was on our doorstep. And Bryce tries to pretend like who? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know her. Jaslyn know better. She's like, yeah, that girl, she didn't come here for me. She came here for you. Who is she? I got a theory. You know what? I got a theory. Hold that thought. And she got a theory. She shows him the theory that she came across online about the Aura app and whatever and what's going on with it. And when she shows him the video, the guy is saying that basically the Aura acts as a magnet for spirits. And he, of course, he laughs at her, like he scoffs at her, but she's like, no, that man that was at the doorstep was dead a week. He had been dead for a week before he came. So yeah, something is going on. Something is going on. And she's like, so about this Mary Jean lady, who is that? Who is Mary Jean? And of course, Bryce gets defensive. And he doesn't, want to answer the question or whatever. But now Mary Jean back at the door. Bryce. Yeah, open up the door, Bryce. Open up the door. And Jaslyn like, who the fuck is Mary Jean, Bryce? You gonna answer the door? Who is she? Go ahead and let her in. And he blurts out that she was his fiance. He was with her the night that she got killed. And so he tells the story. And his version of the story is that was his fiance, and they had met like at this lovers lane type of situation. But he met up with her to break off the engagement. She was all upset, and she got out of the car and decided to walk home, and ended up getting hit by the car or whatever. He just felt terrible about it because he just left her there. That was his story. Child. Of course, Mary Jean, I think she can hear she can hear the version he giving, and she's steady knocking. And so when Jaslyn opens the door, Mary Jean's standing there with a baby. You know, the gust of wind comes in, and then she's in the house and she holding a baby. And it's like, who this baby? I said, so what's going down? So now we see that he has hurt her and a baby. We see what really happens. He actually pushed her, and they were arguing or whatever about the baby, because a baby's not a part of the plan. And he pushes her in the street when a car is coming. She get ran down by this truck, I guess the driver, and she's laying there in the street, and he's standing there looking at her like, damn, I might have got out of this one. Thank you, truck driver. The truck driver just keep on running because it is a hit and run. So he keep on driving. And she's in the street calling for Bryce, calling for her man. Baby, help me, please. Help me. Please help me. He's standing over her. He look around. He say, help, 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 help. He looking around. Nobody out here. And then he step on her throat. And she, choked to death. And he breaks her neck. Get in his car and he out. I said, no, he didn't. And he telling the story like, the baby wasn't a part of the plan, and now neither are you. He go and get a poker from the fireplace, but Mary Jean got it covered. She do whatever she do from the spirit realm. And he start, it's as if she starts choking him or something, because he died right there, dropped dead. That what you thought. That's what you thought. She like, Mary Jean ain't come to talk. She came to do more than talk. Thank you, Mary Jean. Thank you very much. Like, the nerve of him. He really thought he was going to try to turn it again. And just like I said, we couldn't trust him. I forgot to say, after she kills him, he turns to dust. And I'm like, so this is how this works? So when the person comes back from the dead, through the aura, they can harm people and turn them into dust? Because, it would seem like he didn't come from that realm or wherever she is. So you would think that he would have a body left. But no, nobody, no nothing. He was dust. Anyway, 3 months later, she's moved into an apartment or whatever. And the maintenance man is filling her in on the lay of the land or whatever, and telling her, oh, and I got this up here on your door. I went on ahead and installed the aura for you. She's like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that. And he says, oh, don't worry about it. They come with every unit. You got to stay safe. And she looking like, I do not want that shit. Soon as he closed the door, them notifications start coming in. And you know who had the door? Bryce. Let me in, Jaslyn. Let me in, Jaslyn. And he starts going ham. You're my wife. You answer to me. Answer the door, Jaslyn. And she just sitting in the house. I'm like, girl, yank that thing out the door, toss it out the window, and don't you worry about it no more. And tell the super, don't worry about replacing it, okay? I don't need no replacement. It's crazy. I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I loved the ending as well. He finna torment her for the rest of her days in that apartment. I guess as long as she has that aura. It's craziness. It make you listen. Don't play with me. There is always something like this, like Black Mirror on Netflix. Will have you thinking, second guessing everything in your home. Like, should I have this? Because I don't want it to start going crazy on me. Like when they had that Alexa, and Alexa was doing too much. Alexa was doing too much over there on the Black Mirror. And so we would hate for Alexa to start showing her ass like that. And we would absolutely hate for the Ring app to start bringing in spirits and shit. Hell no. Anyway, it was a great episode. I enjoyed it. We will be back for more next week. I'm wondering what we're gonna do. Like, how many other original American Horror Story characters are we gonna get? So far, we have gotten, the guy that from the dollhouse, the doll maker. He's an original. Like, he's been in every last American Horror Story season. We got Gabourey in this one, and she was in Coven. So I wonder who else we gonna see. We gonna get a little Jessica Lange. We gonna get a little Sarah Paulson. I'd be happy. I love to see the familiar faces, which is why I went up so much for seeing Myrtle Snow. So I would come around full circle and bring back grown Myrtle Snow so we can get a little bit of her. Anyway, let me go. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.